All right, let's dive into a story you've probably never heard before. It's about this kind of hidden world, and we're going to see it all through the eyes of a young woman named Maya. You know, when you picture a hospital, you probably think of doctors and nurses, right? Maybe a really busy operating room. But what if I told you that some of the most critical work, the stuff that keeps every single patient safe, happens in places we never ever see? And that kind of makes you think, doesn't it? What if the most important jobs are the ones that are farthest from the spotlight? Well, this story is all about finding your purpose in one of those hidden places. So, our story starts in a place we all know pretty well, the loud, crowded hallways of high school. And for our main character, Maya, it was a time filled with one massive question: what am I supposed to do next? This was Maya. She was just drifting. All the usual paths people talked about, go to this college, pick that career, none of it really clicks for her. She was there, sure, but she wasn't really connected to where her life was going. And it wasn't like she was trying to be a rebel or anything. It was this quiet disconnect. You can just picture it, can't you? Doodling in her notebook instead of taking notes, the college brochures just piling up, untouched. These were all the little signs of someone just waiting for a spark. But you know how life is. Sometimes a single, totally random moment can change absolutely everything. For Maya, that moment happened at, of all places, a school career fair. So she's just walking by, probably bored out of her mind, when a couple of words just kind of snag her attention. Sterile processing. I mean, what even is that? It was a term she'd never heard for a world she never knew existed. And this was the light bulb moment. It wasn't about getting a fancy degree or a big title. It was about something way deeper: focus, responsibility, and this idea of being completely essential. For a girl who felt like she was just floating along, the thought that every single surgery could depend on her, wow, that was an anchor. So what exactly is this hidden world? Well, think of sterile processing techs as the secret guardians of the operating room. They're the ones who make sure every single tool a surgeon picks up is perfectly clean, totally safe, and ready to go. They're basically silent heroes. Now, it wasn't some dramatic movie scene where she suddenly knew her life's purpose. She was still Maya, still a little hesitant, but for the very first time, there was this spark of curiosity that was strong enough to make her actually do something. She signed up for a course. Okay, so signing up was that first step. But the real journey, the part with all the hard work and discovery, that was just getting started. And honestly, it was going to be a lot tougher than she thought. All of a sudden, Maya's thrown into this world with incredibly high stakes and so much detail. This wasn't a class she could just doodle her way through. The standards were sky high because she was literally learning how to fight an invisible enemy, all the germs that could cause infections. People's lives were on the line. I mean, she had to learn a whole new language. Words like hemostat, retractor, bioburden. These weren't just words on a test. They were real tools and concepts she had to understand perfectly every single time. And right here, this is the real turning point in her story. Before, when things got tough or boring, she'd just check out, drift away. But this was different. The challenge actually hooked her, and the purpose behind it all kept her going. She stuck with it. And slowly, all that overwhelming chaos started to make sense. It turned into a clear, logical process: decontamination, assembly, sterilization, and then quality assurance. She was learning the rhythm, the science, and even the art of doing this work right. And with every instrument she identified, with every tray she put together perfectly, something inside her just started to shift. That aimless high school student was disappearing, and this focused, capable trainee was taking her place. So after all that hard work in the classroom, it was time for the next big chapter, her externship. This was it, her first time in a real hospital, where it wasn't just practice anymore. This was the real deal. Maya took all that new focus with her to the hospital. She wasn't shy about asking questions when she didn't know something, and she was totally committed to getting every last detail right, even if it meant staying late. And here's the thing that really made her stand out. In this job, being fast is good, but being perfect is everything. Her supervisor started to notice how careful she was. They knew that if Maya prepped a tray, it was done right. No question. And then that moment she'd been working so hard for finally arrived. Her supervisor pulled her aside, And with those simple words, her journey from a law student to a professional they couldn't lose was complete. I mean, just look at this change. The transformation is incredible, right? The uncertain girl from the hallways was now confident. The aimless student was now totally focused. And the girl who felt like she didn't fit in anywhere now knew without a single doubt that she was essential. And that's the really beautiful part of her new job. The people she helps the most will never even meet her. They'll never get a chance to thank her for being so careful. But her impact is there. It's in every single successful operation. Her signature is that silent promise of safety that lets surgeons do their life-saving work. Maya's story is such a great reminder that not all heroes wear capes or stand in the spotlight. Some of them, like her, work quietly behind the scenes, making sure people they'll never meet are safe. It really makes you wonder, right? How many other hidden heroes are out there just making the world work?